All right, guys, welcome to Unleashed, episode number 3. This is a super special episode because today we are going to be talking about you and how you can become the very best version of yourself through a program, a habits-based mental toughness program called Project You. We've all heard that working on yourself is the best project you could ever work on, and it is 100% correct. Once you can start to delay gratification, once you can start to put in the work on your physical and mental self, then you can start to influence outside factors, work on success outside of just you personally. This is extremely important because in today's society, we have become, it's all too hard. People are afraid of committing to themselves. It's much easier to play the victim, get the participation trophy, and the reality of life is that that is not how it works. If you want to be successful in your life, no matter what success is for you, it starts with you. And so, Project You is 10 weeks of you working on becoming the very best version of yourself. We all know it's a process. And if we focus on the daily habits or the daily actions that we do, that is where we will find our success. And so if we can create a program that guides you through those daily habits, then ultimately it's going to lead you to the success that you have been looking for. Why Project You is, in my eyes, head and shoulders above other mental toughness programs that you may have tried is because number one, it's not extreme. And number two, it includes accountability. That's right. You're not just going to go it alone with Project You. We are going to keep you accountable. And in today's world, accountability is one of the top reasons why people are not achieving what they want to achieve. The system has created us into fantastic employees. We do what we're told. When we're at work, our boss tells us what to do and we do it. How successful we are at it is determined by how well we do those actions, how productive we are, how much we kiss ass. But who's holding us accountable outside of work? Who's holding you accountable to make sure that you're becoming the best version of you? Nobody. This is something I learned when I transitioned from being an employee to now being an entrepreneur, is no one is holding me accountable to my actions. And it became very, very easy not to do what I needed to do. I took the easy road. And so accountability is probably one of the top reasons why this program is going to help keep you on track. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to hold you accountable. You're going to check in every single week. You're not going to check in with an app where it matters or it doesn't. You're going to check in with a real person. And that real person is going to provide you feedback on how you're tracking and what you need to do to continue to move forward. So let's get into it. Project You. It's 10 weeks. Now, before you go, oh my goodness, that's 10 weeks. I get it, right? Modern society, social media is turning us into goldfish. Our attention span is getting smaller and smaller. Our ability to focus for 10 weeks is really going to challenge a lot of people. Other programs will tell you that if you fail one day, that's it. You're done. You've got to go back to the start. Project U is not like that. But Project U is 10 weeks because 10 weeks is going to help create habits, not just daily actions that you do for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's about where most programs are these days, or most people can stay focused, is that 4-week period. But after 4 weeks, you have not built habits. You've just put a mask on and done what you've been told to do for 4 weeks. And at the end of the 4 weeks, you're going to go back to where you were. So 10 weeks. The other reason why I like 10 weeks is because we can create sustainable habits and sustainable change. If you're doing a 4-week program and your goal is physical transformation, you're going to get a little bit of results. You're not going to get massive results, but at 10 weeks, you're going to be able to look back and go, wow, look at that transformation that I got in 10 weeks. And that might just give you a little bit more motivation to keep going. Not only have you built some habits, but you've built some mental fortitude to say, this is how I'm going to keep going. This is how my life is now going to be. Like everything, the program is built around our 5 pillars of optimizing your everyday health. We're not here to create elite athletes. We're here to make you the best version that you can be. So the 5 pillars of our everyday health are movement, nutrition, hydration, sleep, and stress reduction. And by following those 5, we've created 10 principles that Project U is built around. And it's not cookie cutter. It's not the same for everybody because we're not robots and everyone is in a different situation. But the 5 pillars remain exactly the same. So guys, let's get into it. This is what you need to do to participate and be successful at Project U. The first thing you need to do is you need to set yourself a start date. When are you going to start? All right. Put it in your diary and start planning. The first part of Project U is the week before. It's your planning week. All right. Before you even start doing the do, we're going to plan because we're going to set some subconscious motivation for you to step forward. Okay. Planning is critical. It is so very important. Number 1, no alcohol. Alcohol's toxic. It's a poison. It's a legal drug that's doing our society and yourself damage. So get rid of it. All right. It's time to ditch the booze. It's toxic. It's creating toxic fat. It's impacting your ability to focus and be productive at work. It's impacting your ability to perform in and out of the gym. Why? Why do you need it? For many, alcohol is just an escape from reality. What are you trying to escape? If your reality is that bad that you need some booze, then we need to change your reality, and that's why you need to do this program. So no alcohol for 10 weeks. If you've got social engagements, I get it. You want to hold something in your hands. Get an alcohol-free beer, an alcohol-free wine or spirit, sparkling water, whatever you need to do, but no alcohol. I think that is super, super important. So that's number 1, no alcohol. Number 2, no highly processed foods. We want you to actually spend a little bit of time making your food at home, cutting out refined sugars, cutting out trans fats. All right, these are all the nasties that we find hidden in our overly processed foods. We're going to stick to real simple stuff: protein, clean carbs, and omega fats. Okay, they're your 3. I'm not going to tell you what plan you need to follow, but you need to follow a plan. Are you going to be keto? Are you ketogenic? Are you just looking to clean eat? Are you vegetarian or vegan? Personally, I think a Mediterranean diet is the best option for many people. All right. Just Google it, look it up. All right. And essentially, are you going to be paleo? Paleo, I think, is also another great option. All right. Because it's not overly restrictive. It's just cleaning up your diet. All right. No McDonald's, no pizza, no Uber Eats from the takeaway joint. Okay. Keep it clean. We're going to drink 3 liters of water every day. Ideally, you're going to drink 1 liter of water per 25 kilos of body weight. But we want to drink 3 liters of water. Now, let's be honest, guys. What I've spoken about so far is not adding any real additional time to your week. Okay? If you struggle with meal prepping, or I don't have time, Justin, to cook meals, then find a meal provider that will do it for you. There's plenty of them. All right. You can do light and easy. You can get pre-prepared high protein meals from Live Fit Nutrition or My Muscle Chef. They'll deliver it to your door and you don't even have to cook. You just got to heat it up. But it's going to be way better than the shit you're already eating. Follow a plan. All right. Like I said, Mediterranean, paleo, ketogenic, if that's you. Right? You'll be able to look at your diet and you know what you need to remove and where you need to add. Okay? If you have got some big specific goals around transformation, then you might also need to download a calorie counter like MyFitnessPal Chronometer and actually track what you're eating. But I would say for a lot of people, just cleaning up your diet, eating better, not less, is going to make a massive difference. You've got to remember, whole foods keep you fuller for longer. Processed foods make you crave more. And they're often calorie dense. All right? A little bit of this is going to fill you up for a lot longer. Get your clean carbs, your veggies, a little bit of fruit. Keep high protein. All right? These things are super important. Where you source that protein from is going to be up to you. Like I said, vegetarian, vegan, or omnivore, completely up to you. All right. But you got to stick to a plan. And you're going to have to make sure that on your weekends, you plan and you look after it and you're consistent through it. That doesn't mean go out and not go out and be a hermit. We want you to still socialize. We are social creatures, but you got to learn that when you socialize, that doesn't give you the right or the privilege to just let everything go. When did you become a dog and you reward yourself with food and booze? Like, seriously, we need to stop this, right? We need to be looking at being consistent. Let's not have a 5-day, we're really good, 2 days, I let go of the belt and I just go, all right? 7 days in a week, and that's it. All right. There is no 5 days and then 2 days, working week, weekend. There is 7 days in a week. We need to be consistent. Consistency is what this program is all about. Doing the same things each and every day to help get you towards that goal that you want. And most people's goal, no matter where you're at, is to become the best version of yourself. All right. So we've spoken about nutrition there. Now, another thing is coffee. Now, and I'll explain why I talk about coffee. Now, we're not cutting out coffee. All right. You're allowed to have coffee. I'm not against coffee in any way, shape, or form. But coffee, and in particular caffeine, has a half-life. All right. And caffeine is a stimulant. So what we want to do is we want to make sure no caffeine after 12 o'clock, midday. Caffeine has a 5-hour half-life, which means if you have 40 milligrams of caffeine at 8 o'clock in the morning, 5 hours later, you still have 20 milligrams going through your system. 5 hours later, you still have 10 milligrams going through your system. Now, 10 milligrams might not be a lot, okay? But if you're smashing down a coffee at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, okay, because, that mid-afternoon slump, I need a pick-me-up, all right? Maybe you're popping your pre-workout before you hit the gym in the afternoon. That caffeine is still going to be running through your system at a fairly high level when you're trying to get to sleep. And that's why I want you to reduce your caffeine or just change the time that you have it, okay? Have it before midday, all right, so that the caffeine can slowly come down and you can make sure you're getting a good night's sleep. The other thing about caffeine, guys, is don't have it first thing in the morning, okay? When you wake up, all right, and you feel like you need to hit that button on that Nespresso machine to actually feel like you're getting a little bit of a buzz, all right, don't do it, all right? Rather, get a liter of water in your system first. Then think about maybe having a coffee. If you can delay it for about an hour and a half, there's this, we have this thing called adenosine, which runs through our body, okay? And caffeine is a blocker of adenosine. So we need to be very conscious as to when we have our caffeine, and we want our body to flush the adenosine before we have caffeine. So, waking up, the adenosine's built up in the system. Let's allow the body to clear that before we have a coffee. So that brings me to your 3 liters of water, making sure you're having plenty of water each and every day, okay? Whether you need to carbonate it, whatever you need to do, focus on hydration. Now, if you're someone that gets up early in the morning, like I said, if the first thing you're doing is having a liter of water, when you wake up, boom, you've already hit 33% of your water requirement for the day, and you've only just got up, okay? So you should be able to knock 3 liters of water off in a day, all right? Maybe you can try and get a bit more, but don't overdo it. You can overhydrate yourself. So 3 liters, or like I said, 1 liter per 25 kilos of body weight is what we're trying to hit. The body is 70% water. Our brain is almost 80% water. That's why I talk about having water first thing in the morning, is because that is what is going to rehydrate your brain and get it sparking, not caffeine. Okay, that is a false hit. Rehydrate your brain and get yourself up and going. That is what's going to do give you the most bang for your buck when you wake up in the morning. All right. So get your hydration in, keep your brain hydrated. It's going to keep it focused and it's going to make you much more productive. Okay. So what do we got next? All right, let's talk about movement. The goal is to move every single day. Extra bonus points if you can get maybe 10 sessions in, all right? Of those movement sessions, we want at least 3 of them to be a resistance-based training session. We want 3 weight sessions a week, okay? We know the importance of building muscle or maintaining skeletal muscle, all right, for our body. It is super important for your longevity, for your ability to get through daily life, all right? Your body will burn more calories at rest when you've got more muscle, okay? So maintaining muscle is very, very important. That's why you need to do resistance training. We also know that resistance training is going to help with bone density, which again becomes super, super important as we get older and older, all right? We need that bone density to help prevent injury. One of the top causes of death in our older population is falls, because people fall, they break their hip, and then they can't get up or they struggle to get up. And that body goes into a lot of stress. And when you're later in life, your body doesn't want that stress. And so bone density becomes very, very, very important as we get on later in life. So we've said you need to do at least 3 gym sessions. I strongly believe that you also need to get out and you need to walk, you need to get your steps. The benefit here is it's a recovery session. You can put a podcast on if you like, all right? But you're also getting outside, which is going to get you some sunlight, which is going to help with your body's natural production of vitamin D. And vitamin D is super important for a strong immune system. So get outside, get walking, okay? Get your steps in. Maybe you want to do a stretch session, walk your dog, whatever you need to do, but you need to move every single day. The human body was not designed to be stagnant, and modern life makes us stagnant because we sit in front of a computer for the majority of our day. Okay, so we need to keep moving, right? That's why we talk about the 10,000 steps, all right, as a goal. Now, 10,000, that number, there's debates whether it's correct or not, but ultimately, you just got to get moving. Focus on having at least 30 to 45 minutes of movement every single day. And like I said, extra bonus points if you can up that to around 10, okay? So there's your movement taken care of. We've spoken about caffeine. The next thing we want to talk about is your sleep. We want to create a sleep routine. So I know that everyone talks about 8 hours is your optimal, and there is research out there that does support that, but there's also research out there that says you don't necessarily need 8 hours. And what is most important is having a routine around your sleep. And what do we mean by that? We mean going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. It's called your circadian rhythm, and your body loves a rhythm. That's why doing this program is so important, because it's going to help you get into a daily rhythm that's going to help you achieve your goals long term. So what you need to do is you need to work out what time you're going to go to bed in the evening, and what time you're going to wake up in the morning, and how many hours sleep that's going to give you. Like I said, ideally, we're going to be shooting for that 7 to 8 hours, and then just make it routine. At least 5 to 6 times a week. I get that you're going to have some social engagements on the weekend, all right, and it might be a little bit off, but at least for those 5 to 6 nights a week, we're going to get a sleep rhythm happening. I have a routine around that, all right, and again, in the program, we want you to read 10 pages of a self-development book. And ideally, you're going to do that before you go to bed, all right? That's going to get you off your phone. It's going to help slow your brain down, okay? Prepare yourself for sleep. But we're also filling you with some education, all right? Again, promoting that becoming the best version of yourself. If I gave you a personal development book, let's say Atomic Habits is a great book to start with, written by James Clear. All right, what we're talking about now is creating habits, so it's a great first starter. You're going to get more out of reading those 10 pages than you are spending the equivalent amount of time scrolling on social media. That's just giving you a dopamine hit, and you're going to be up all night, because ultimately you're going to get caught in the scroll hole. Okay, and I know so many people, especially busy parents, mums in particular, all right, they've had a super busy day, and that's their time that they want to jump on social media. And I get it, but I'm telling you now, it's doing you a disservice. Get off your phone at least half an hour before you go to bed, all right? Read your 10 pages, brush your teeth, do whatever you need to do, and get into a great rhythm so that when you turn the lights off and you hit that pillow, you can get a good quality night's sleep. The better quality sleep you get, the better you'll recover for the next day. And that's what sleep is all about. It's your magic time. That's when you're going to recover. You're going to recover from your stresses of the day, from your physical stress, from your mental stress, whatever it may be. If you can get good quality sleep, you will wake up rested, ready to tackle the next day. So we've spoken about sleep, we've spoken about nutrition, we've spoken about hydration, we've spoken about movement. Couple of other things, and this comes into the stress reduction side of things. Do a digital detox every week. Pick a day, don't get on social media. That may be hard for some, especially if you run a business that requires social media, okay? But there's a difference between being on social media and it's a tool for work, and being on social media and consuming content. The other thing I would tell you is turn your notifications off. You don't need to know if someone's liked a post straight away. You don't need to know if someone's commented on a post straight away. Leave it for a time. Give yourself a block of time in your day to check your social media rather than checking all the time. Oh, I got a like. Oh, who liked my post? Oh, who commented on my post? I better respond. Okay? You don't live for your phone. You don't live for social media. Live for reality, not the false reality that's on social media. So be present in your day, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. And is if you're attached to the zzz of your phone all the time, you are not present. And your kids will feed off it if you've got kids. Your work will suffer because of it. Your productivity will suffer because of it. Learn to distance yourself from social media. Turn off your notifications and give yourself a detox each and every week. Now, let me just check my notes to make sure that we've got everything covered. We've spoken about all that kind of stuff. We've spoken about the digital detox. We've spoken about caffeine. Awesome. The last two things that you guys need to be focused on is number one, you need to plan your week in advance. I can't talk about this enough. If you want to reduce your stress, plan your week in advance. If you want to get more productive and more out of your day, plan your week in advance. If you want to stay true to the course and do what needs to be done rather than what you want to do, plan your week in advance. So you know what you're doing at what time, what you're eating, everything is planned in advance. And I know it sounds boring, and it only sounds boring because all of the dickheads on social media talk about bloody variety is the spice of life, and it's absolute bullshit. All right, you need to stick to the plan. If you plan your meals in advance, if you know what you're going to be eating and you've gone and you've done your shop, guess what? Number one, you're going to save money because you only bought what you need for the week. Number two, you're not going to make last minute emotional, stupid decisions. I don't know anyone that makes a good decision on the day when that comes up and goes, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? Oh, let me have a look and see what we've got. Fuck, you don't know what you've got. Guess what? You're going to end up Uber Eatsing or buying some bullshit takeaway. It's that simple. Plan your weeks, plan your meals. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you time. It's going to keep you productive and focused. And at the end of the day, it's going to help you build a rhythm and a habit around becoming the best version of yourself. We got pretty heated there, but I am super passionate of planning your week. I know it myself. If I don't plan my work days or what I'm going to be doing specifically, if I hadn't have planned that I was going to record this on this day and written out what I needed to do, this would never have happened. And so planning is super important for you to get through your week. And the last thing, and I alluded to this at the start, is you need to make sure you're checking in with yourself. Okay? If you're doing this because you want to make some physical changes, take a selfie. You don't need to share it with anyone else, but take a selfie, take some measurements, all right, once a week, and so that you can see the changes over the course of the 10 weeks. You're not going to see a lot from week to week. I get that. But when you can look back at week 1 and week 10, if you have been doing what is required, you will see the changes in the photos. You will notice the changes in your measurements when you put your jeans on and they don't fit as tightly as they did before. If you are doing what is required, and the check-in is going to come from me as well on a weekly basis, all right, you need to do that because that's your accountability. That is me and you keeping yourself accountable for what you're trying to achieve. And that is super important. And so once again, guys, the best project that you can work on is yourself. If you feel like you're in a little bit of a slump at the moment, if you've lost a little bit of focus, if you need to set yourself some new goals, then do so and then take on the project you challenge It's 10 weeks, and I guarantee you it's going to get you on the path to the success that you want to achieve. Guys, that's it from me for today. I hope you get some value out of this. Comment if you want to get involved in the challenge, and I'll talk to you again in the next episode.